Everybody, and welcome to hashtag Grow Your Life Live Sessions. Every morning I go live on Facebook and Instagram and help you grow in your life, grow in business, and get results. Today what I want to talk about is preventing burnout in business and in life, really. I put business on there on the Facebook one, but I think I'm going to change that. In life and relationships and in what we're doing, prevent burnout in what we're doing by learning to flow instead of strive. Flowing and striving are not the same thing. In society and culture, how we're raised in 2019, almost everybody understands striving and hard work get the job done. But there's actually another level to it that you can take that goes above and beyond striving completely. And it gets far more results as well. So what I want to do is invite you to open up your mind to a possibility of something that you've maybe never thought of before. To stop striving, to stop stressing, to stop working so hard and get 10 times more done by flowing. And so what do I mean by this? We understand, I don't need to tell you how striving feels, how pushing your head against the wall feels. I don't have to tell you that at all. You understand it. You know it doesn't feel good. And I hear a lot of great business people, they're well-meaning, your feelings don't matter, grind hard, push hard, break through the wall. That's great. And by the way, I want to tell you this, that's what you do when you're flowing. Except you don't burn out, except you don't feel the striving. So what it is you get to the point where you can work and get 10 times more done with less stress. So seeking out happiness and less stress as your first goal then allows you to flow instead of strive. You set a goal, you work hard, you go after it. And I'm literally talking about working super hard. I'm not talking about, being lazy and hoping it gets done. This is a manifestation principle right here that I realized this morning that I have not given myself enough credit to realize it's something that I've mastered and that I want to pass on to people more and more, is learning how to accomplish great things, grind when you have to. If I have to work 16 hours straight, I can do that. If I want to work 0 hours, I can do that too. And that's where flowing comes from, is choice, the power of choice, taking ownership over our choices and our actions and decisions in everything that we're doing. And I did a video yesterday about being present in every moment, in every activity that you're doing. So flowing is being present in what you're doing. When you are present, you can then flow. When you're not present, you are striving, because striving comes from comparison. Striving can create unhappiness when we're comparing a present situation to another. Now, there's part of that is true. When we compare where we want to go, we can then make a goal. We have something to pinpoint and aim to. If you're not aiming at anything, you're not going to hit anything. So comparison allows us to aim at something, at least, only for the purpose of change, pain avoidance. Comparing and striving to produce happiness will never produce that. But comparison to say, this is my goal, this is where I want to go, that's a whole nother story. That's setting goals, because you're choosing this is my goal rather than I have to do that to be happy. And so then in that, when you learn to flow, and the flow is being present while you're doing stuff, giving yourself a break, not beating yourself up, taking 5 minutes to go do something else, getting your mind centered, focusing on that. And then what it is because you're present, because you are centered and you're releasing any sort of comparison, unhappiness, stress, those stress hormones disappear and your creativity actually starts to flow better. You can make quicker decisions faster by not striving. And what it is this is actually a vulnerable place for a lot of people. This is part of vulnerability. And if you listen to Brene Brown, she's really good on this. I keep referring back to her because she's kind of the queen of vulnerability and just massive courage. Her Netflix special, Call to Courage, is huge. If you haven't checked it out, please do so. She talks about this, that the most vulnerable place that you can be is joy. Having joy, because you're opening yourself up to everything. Okay? And vulnerability is the opposite of striving. When we're striving, we're not being vulnerable. Flowing comes out of a place of being vulnerable and embracing failure as a teacher, actually seeking out potential failures to learn from. For instance, last night, I ran 6 different ad sets to my course that I just launched. I knew that half of them were going to fail, but I learned exactly what audience is going to convert to sales, and we've already made sales now from it using advertising campaigns. But I was vulnerable enough, instead of striving, I just did it, took action, and flowed with it. Released over 180 different advertisements to the marketplace. And if you haven't bought the course, you're going to see those ads. And so what this is flowing, not to distract from what I was talking about. Striving is, you're holding on really tight. Being vulnerable and flowing is actually releasing the tension and the stress and giving yourself a break, not beating yourself up when you make a mistake, but learning from those mistakes and learning to flow from that place. And then when you flow, you're present in the moment of whatever you're doing, your workout, your day, your daily life. We're seeking out a place of not releasing stress hormone. And so what this is striving builds up inflammation in our bodies. It clouds our brain. It creates a chemical response in us that limits and hinders creativity and growth. But when you flow, instead of strive, you flow by being present, getting your mind right, getting your mind centered. That's why all the content that I'm putting on my page and my podcast is how to get from this place of striving and release whatever's holding you back, whatever mentally is in there that over time, I heard someone call it like mental weeds that we have that are in there. When you can really get rid of those, that's when the flow starts to happen. And we'll keep striving until we start to release those. We start to let those things go. And I did a podcast on that this Monday. It's a proven method for what is it? I'm going to botch it up. I don't even remember the exact title I gave it. Basically, accomplishing anything and removing any limitations from your life and doing the impossible. That's what it is. Eliminating limitations and doing the impossible. So for instance, when we flow, we roll with the punches. We let it roll off our back. We just roll with it instead of, I made a mistake. Now I have to analyze, blah, 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 blah. There's a place and time for analysis when it comes from a place of flowing and rolling with the punches. And so in that, I really want you to think about this, and I'm going to discover how to explain this a little bit better over the next few weeks. I want to know, what are your reasons for striving? Why is it hard for you to flow? And what are you afraid of with burnout? Have you experienced burnout? So for this, what I'm telling you is more a testimonial of flowing instead of striving. Flowing is you could work for 16 hours and yet it feels like an hour went by because it was so fun that you enjoyed it and you got 10 times as much done out of that childlike joy and excitement. So that's the definition of what I mean by flowing, is you're working. The hard work comes from a place of just childlike wonder and getting more done. That's probably the best way to really describe it. Instead of striving like an adult and grinding and working hard, we can actually get 10 times more done by opening ourselves up to the possibilities, being okay with failure like a kid is, getting right back up again, and then learning from our mistakes. And then we can flow instead of strive and get so much more done in our lives without stress, without burnout. And that's how we can prevent burnout while working hard at the same time and going after some crazy big stuff. So I hope this encouraged you. I hope it gave you a few tools. I'm going to keep pressing into this message myself so I can share it with you better and help you understand it. Have a good one, everybody, and we will talk soon.